So the approach that I've used the accounting firm specifically, is that I found out they have done, estate planning. They have a newsletter. They talked about the critical components of succession planning. And so I was able to have a meeting with the principal of the business and talk about ISPA. What I found was there was a lot of interest in general. There were terms that we were using that I was familiar with as a result of the training, and he was familiar with as a result of his practice. He wants to offer succession planning as a revenue stream for his business. More importantly, he wants to offer it as a service that his clients can depend on. By having gone through the assessment, I was able to actually print a copy of the assessment. There's a quote from Harvey McKay that says, "A good salesman tells, a better salesman shows, an excellent salesman demonstrates." And so I went through a process of explaining the matrix, was able to give the individual a spiral notebook, the assessment, 45, 50-page assessment of an assessment that I had done as a sample, and showed him exactly what was going to come out of it, what the results were, how it was scored, where fundamentally a SWOT exercise that we were going to be taking a look at the opportunities and the strengths and the weaknesses, and identified, and went through 2 or 3 of the components on the matrix that he was particularly interested in. Now, what do you do in this financial planning? Because, a lot of those owners aren't going to want to share with you how much money they've got invested in various companies and whatnot. And I assured him that we weren't going to get to that level of detail. We were more talking about, what their dependence was on the income from the business as it related to their lifestyle. And when he saw that, and he saw the kind of questions were going to be, or statements that were going to be posed, the individual's ability to agree or disagree in a scale as to whether or not they agreed or disagreed with the statements, he was much more relaxed and much more in tune with the approach that we were using. And when he had the book in front of him, it was 100% sale as soon as we went through demonstrated the assessment and showed him them. So I found that having gone through an assessment, generating one, making copies of it has been a very powerful tool in talking to the professional service providers, lawyers, insurance agents, wealth managers, and accountants, to talk to them about the process, what I have to offer in the near term, what I have to offer in the long term, how I would approach the company. One of the feedback that I got back was that they were interested in what we would do, what ISPA would do through the succession process if there was a need for legal activity or accounting activity, whether or not we would be depending on my contacts in the legal world, for example, or do we have a group of lawyers that would be called upon, owner be able to utilize their own relationship with their own legal. And when I told them that all those were available, very encouraged by the fact that the business owner would be able to utilize their own legal consultants for whatever legal matters were needed, whether it was employment agreements or buy-sell agreements or whatever the case may be, that we weren't pushing other individuals into the process that were going to challenge their relationships with their existing businesses. So I think it was a good point, in a valid point. The business owners could continue the relationships with their existing professional part of their community, and we would work with them, as closely as necessary. Kind of a combination of answers there, but going through the matrix and demonstrating exactly what the matrix was and what components we were going to look at, assessment, and their ability to take a look at that and see what the deliverable was going to be, and then knowing that business owners and their clients could continue utilizing the services that they currently have relationships. All 3 combined make for a very powerful approach.